Well, instead of going behind the curtain today, we're actually going to go behind the audition for a fun musical that you can be a part of. It's all through Center Stage's theater, and Talon from Center Stage, and he's actually the producer of the show, is joining us now. How are you doing?
Doing very well, thank you.
Yes, now that we're in the beginning of the show process, I know as it continues to get closer and closer to the showtime, that's when it gets a little bit busier. But this is the exciting part. But Center Stage Jackson has truly made an impact in theater, for sure, in mid-Michigan. But tell us a little about the history and how it's evolved over the years.
Sure. So we've been doing community theater in Jackson since 2000. So we generally do about 4 to 6 shows every year. Somewhere, family-oriented, from kids theaters to musicals to cabarets and song and so on and so forth. So we do that, and generally we usually stick to family-oriented shows. And we love this show because it's not perfectly family-oriented, but it's adult family-oriented.
Right.
So it's break a little bit from the norm, just a little bit different, and it's a fun show.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the full Monty. It's quite a show. What is it all about?
So, if you've seen the movie, most people think it's about guys who strip, but that's really not it. It's really about a family-oriented group of people who are broke. They're out of jobs. They need money. And then somebody talks about the Chippendales and how silly that would be. And then they talk about how much money they make. And then the male bravado kicks in and they go, well, we can do that. And they can't. And it just goes downhill from there. And it's fun, it's hilarious, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, I cannot wait to see it on stage. And actually, you guys at home can be a part of this because you're taking auditions next week. So what kind of characters can people audition for?
So there are 6 major male roles for the show, and there are 4 major female roles and 1 child role. And there's a lot of extra roles outside of that, but those primary roles are what we'll be looking for. And obviously, as you know, it's the full Monty. So if you're auditioning in one of those male roles, some brief male nudity would be required. So it's something to be aware of.
Yes, exactly. But definitely, and you have a couple of the roles on there so people have an idea of the character descriptions as they kind of prepare. If there's something that they want to be a part of. You mentioned that there might be an ensemble too. Yes. Yes,
lots of, so the total cast is about 25 people. So there's always lots of people in the background and lots of music, right, and song and so on and so forth that goes between that. So lots of support, a lot of activity, and then obviously the men.
The men, exactly. You can't forget that. But what made you guys want to put on a show like this? Because has Center Stage put on the full Monty before? Because I know sometimes we have the classics, but it's always fun to put on something different.
So no, we've never done this one before, and usually, like we said, we stick to the mostly family material, stuff like that. But we did we just did the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that was not the Disney version. That was the darker theme, right? So a little bit more darker, not the happy-go-lucky everyday Hunchback kind of thing. So we moved a little bit into some more edgier things, but still tried to stay as family focused as we could. And this story has such a the topic is a little bit risque, but the story behind it, the family behind it, is really fun.
And
really
I think that's what we love about theater, is that you can find ways to relate to different characters that you might on paper, or like reading a description, you're like, oh, I'll never relate it, and you're like, wait, no, I kind of can get that.
Sure.
Exactly. And of course, it's all about some entertainment as well, with full song and dance. But as we mentioned, we're all talking about auditions. That's happening next week, and you guys at home can audition. So stick around, because after the break, we're going to be getting some tips and tricks on how to audition, kind of what to expect, song choice, all that jazz, pun included, I guess, all next. Stay with us.